What is going on, everybody, and on here? And it's that time of the week. We're going to go through distro update for all the games. U.S. is playing Dominican World Baseball Classic, so I'm going to try to blow through this. We'll see what happens. So let's see. At the top, Dragon Ball Fusion World, FBO9 just came out, and the boxes are like $250 to $300. It's amazing how quickly the pricing of some of these products changes with just a little bit of influx in demand. Is it sustainable? Probably not, but I figured I'd mention it because it's absolutely insane. Final Fantasy, I do want to talk about this real quick because there is a new set coming out. This is the 15th anniversary set. It is Dreamlike Oceans. Comes out the same Friday as Pokemon. Now, they did raise the price to somewhere in the $55 range. 2 sets back, the boxes were $37. And I believe they chalked it up to tariffs. At this point, that's just kind of bullshit. It's an overall price increase. So we'll see. It does look like, I bought the set because I figured it would be under ordered just based on the price. It does look like that's the case. Looks like it's going to be available at distro. So we'll see what happens. Moving on, Flesh and Blood. I don't really want to talk about this. They did just release information on their next set. I don't know what it's called. Quite honestly, don't really care. Omens of the Third Age, I guess. So we'll see. Compendium of Wraith was and the expensive cards don't sell. So, I think the problem is with Flesh and Blood is they've destroyed any trust that any collectors and investors have, and it's just game piece army. And when they have expensive cards and chase cards, there's nobody who wants them because it's just game piece army folks that are left and players. So I think they've kind of dug their own grave there because if there's no money in the boxes to break the boxes and nobody wants to gamble because they're all game piece army, I'm going to buy singles. It's a little bit of a standoff because you have sealed product that has to get open for the singles to make it to the players. The players are saying, fuck you, I'm not buying sealed product because it just depreciates over time, which is 100%, which has happened 100% of the time with all their sets. So they're at an impasse that I just don't think is fixable. So anyway, is what it is. Godzilla, not a whole lot there. Set 3 continues to sell reasonably okay. They did release this Inkbrush Monstered Rampage. These are sleeves and some promos with a chase. They actually look really badass. These are really cool looking sleeves. I actually like this better than the art in the game, which are pretty much just stills from the movies. Moving on, Lorcana. Everybody continues to talk about how Lorcana is the next thing, but I did look today. The Winter Spell booster boxes, distro prices like $290, $294, are selling for $102 on TCG Player, which is way underwater. So after Fabled, which whether it gets reprinted or not, I have my thoughts. The boxes are back to being losers. It's a dumpster fire. So moving on, My Little Pony TCG. It is coming soon. The release date is supposed to be April 18th. I wouldn't sleep on it. It's going to be interesting. Now, it may not last long, but it's certainly going to be interesting. One Piece, we did get allocations for OP15. It looks like it's on par with OP14 for the total print population. Obviously, there's more stores in there. So we have not gotten, at least it does not appear that we've gotten an increase in production for OP15. OP17 orders have come and gone. There's really not a whole heck of a lot to talk about. It does look like the Heroine set is back at $350. It was selling off for a little bit, but it looks like it's kind of found its spot there. And then with the Azure C7 or whatever the hell it's called, it looks like there's a couple stores. Devastation, a couple others that came in with 100 some boxes randomly, which I don't quite understand the strategy behind that. But the sell-through is perfectly fine. It's just a matter of time before it dries up. So, I didn't talk about Gundam. So Gundam, we have starter decks 11 through 14. The orders were due last week. We do have the starter deck 9, which I think is a premium one coming out here shortly. We should be getting allocations on that at some point. I do want to mention that GD03, which is Steel Requiem, if you look at the sell-through on TCG Player, it is absolutely insane. It's sold almost 5,000 boxes already between boxes and cases. And GD01, which is the first set from July of 2025, has sold 7,500 in 9 more months, I believe, 8 more months. So it is selling extremely, extremely well. So don't sleep on Gundam. Set 3 kind of reinvigorated what was a little bit of a ho-hum set 2. So, I think it's here to stay personally. Riftbound, Spirit Forge, we have a new set. I didn't see this one yet. We did just get a final wave of Spirit Forge. So we had the initial release wave. We had a second wave that came between 3 to 4 weeks after that. And then there was a little bit of a trickle of a third wave that came in that looks like it's shipping last week / this week. That should be it for a while. I knew the booster boxes were somewhere in the 160 range. But again, the sell-through is crazy. The demand's crazy. The game's here to stay. There's just so much interest in the IP, and the game continues to expand the card pool, and people like it. People think it's fun. So that is it for Riftbound. I want to talk about this for a second. So the solo leveling set just came out on the tails of a couple really nice sets that have performed extremely well. And in my opinion, this is directly related to Bandai going from anybody and their brother can buy this, basically all your backpack sellers. So folks that don't have any skin in the game, they buy something because they just speculate and then they just dump the market, which happens quite a bit, especially in the Japanese-based games. It's basically what killed My Hero Academia. Oh my God, I don't even know. These really aren't games that I spend that much time in. There's a couple other ones because folks would buy them. They wouldn't perform well. Then they just panic dump the shit. So Bandai going to brick and mortar required for Union Arena has really turned the set around. Now, obviously, you also have super strong IPs, but the solo leveling boxes are like $260, which is absolutely insane. Now, that price is too high. I think it's a function of it's not as easy to get the product. There's also a little bit of a time period here between when the box price moves up and when ordering is able to adjust to newfound supply or speculation in buying boxes that are effectively, fairly sizable positive return. So we'll see what happens as things go forward. It also seems like there's a little bit of a renewed interest in playing the game. Again, that is a mix between the IP and people like money. They like buying stuff that goes up in value. They do not like buying stuff that goes down in value. See Lorcana and Flesh and Blood and Star Wars, but it's not even worth mentioning that at this point. So that's that. Weiss, really not a whole lot of interest here coming up. Blue Archive, I don't even know what this is. A lot of these IPs I don't know. Eminence and Shadows, apparently pretty interesting. I've had a bunch of folks ask about it, but outside of that, until Nikki Volume 2 comes out in September, October, there's really not a whole lot to pay attention to in English. Now in Japanese, obviously they're 6+ months ahead of us. So we have that. We have Free Run Volume 2, and we should have Brown Dust 2. Now, whether that ends up releasing in English in 2027 or not, I don't know. But we'll see. One other thing I want to mention before we go to the big boys. Wonders of the First and Bo Jackson Battle Arena, they are made by the same company. They were carried by distribution for the first set of Wonders and the first couple sets of Bo Jackson. I think there's a second set of Wonders of the First that releases this coming Friday. I didn't see any distributors that had it. It looks like they were trying to do some sort of consignment deal where they would provide you with the product and you basically got to keep some of the profit. You could return at any point in time. which I'm not a huge fan of that, but I'm guessing it wasn't scalable with the on-card autographs, etc. Now, Bo Jackson, Battle Arena, we just had the Griffey Jr. set. If you guys have looked at the boxes, they've gone through the roof because they've done a nice job of crossing over between sports chase, and TCG. And TCG is probably like 5% of it, maybe less. I do think they have Star City Games running organized play events, but that, quite honestly, that doesn't really matter. So those are coming out. I haven't seen any orders for the new Bo Jackson set. It's Tecmo Bowl, which is it's really cool. So it's like the old Nintendo Tecmo Bowl cover with Bo Jackson. So it is a really, really cool box art. So I just wanted to mention that just because it's news. It's somewhat interesting, and quite honestly, the product has performed reasonably well. Moving on, let's talk about Magic real quick. Turtles. As of right now, the market is moving up. The draft nights are doing fine. The team ups are doing extremely well. The EV of the cards in there as well is good. The commander decks are starting to dry up. The EV of the cards is great. Collector boosters, quite honestly, the collector boxes are probably going to be $500 in 2 weeks. There's just no supply out there, and the sell-through is absolutely through the roof. The pizza bundles, I think, are going to sell extremely well because we're beyond the stigma of Turtles being the worst set in the history of sets. And the play boxes, they're okay. I mean, look, they're selling for $117, I think, on TCG Player. So they are below distribution cost after fees. And I think that's something that Wizards of the Coast really needs to improve on. But they're not Spider-Man levels. So I think that's interesting. Strixhaven, we've started to get some of the spoilers. I think this set's going to be a good set. Going back to 5 different commander decks is going to be interesting. Still waiting on some bigger allocations of that. Should start coming in this week. Obviously, we're still a month away, but remember that month gets cut down to 2.5 weeks because you have pre-release the week before. And then 10 days before that, they're able to ship the product just so things can be staged. And then Marvel, not a whole lot to talk about here. The order window is still open for another month, pretty much across the board. But Marvel's going to be a pain in the ass because it's 11 SKUs again. It is the same number of SKUs as Avatar, only it's much earlier in the year. Quite honestly, they just need money in Q2. So, we'll see what happens here. We did just get the Lord of the Rings Commander reprints. I've been screaming about this since October of last year. So they finally came. We did get the starter commanders. Also had those communicated a while ago. It does look like we're potentially going to get the set boxes coming in early or the end of April. With Strixhaven, some of the purchase orders, I believe, has started to move a little bit. That would be Lord of the Rings set, Wild set, and Ixalan set potentially will be one set. I know they are all except for all will be one. I know are in the reprint window or on the reprint docket, I should say. Somebody mentioned all will be one that they thought that was going to be included as well. I know we got that last September, October, and the boxes are moving up. So that makes sense. And I saw something that was absolutely batshit crazy, and I meant to do a video on it, that some of the bigger stores in Europe are taking pre-orders for Battle for Baldur's Gate set boxes for a September of 2026 release. Now, I call bullshit on it, but it's real, and it's out there. And I want to do a separate video on that, because if we're going to go back to 2022 for reprints, then things start to get really, really crazy. Because then, the rumors I heard about Warhammer 40K getting reprinted, I mean, that's a possibility. It's just, it opens some really, really a lot of weirdness. I don't want to say it's quite Magic 30, but I think the further back they go, the more you start to impair the market with folks who are socking away boxes at the end of the print runs for investment or financial purposes. So we'll see what happens there. Also, it does look like Fallout and Wilds of Eldraine Commander displays are also going to land in Europe here shortly. Now, keep in mind, in Europe, the majority of the printing is done out of Belgium. In the US, it's done out of the US, obviously. And the collector boxes and some play boxes we've been getting from Japan, but it really has started to transition to US. I'm guessing that is primarily tariff related. But we'll see. And then moving on to Pokemon. So we have all kinds of stuff coming out. So we have first partner collections coming out this Friday. We have the Ascended Heroes first partner pin collections, not to be confused with the first partner illustration collections, which is not Ascended Heroes. We have the premium poster collections. Again, these are all wave ones coming out at the same time. Then the week after, we have all of the Perfect Order stuff, these mini portfolios. I assume this just has Phantasmal in. There's normally not a whole heck of a lot of that. But then we have Perfect Order. And as everybody should be aware from now, or as of now, the total population of booster boxes looks like it's 12 to 15% lower than what it was for Phantasmal. There's a lot more ETBs. There's a lot more booster bundles, a lot more ancillary stuff. So this leads me to believe, and again, this is just my personal opinion, is they have not reduced the print capacity for booster boxes. They haven't shifted to anything else or any other product, I should say. They are printing booster boxes. They are just choosing to not print booster boxes of Perfect Order, which means they're printing booster boxes of other sets. So I've been pretty vocal about things starting to shake loose here the end of Q1. So we'll see what happens. Moving on. We have Chaos Rising, which is a new set that comes out. All the distributors, I believe, have these up for pre-release or pre-order, I should say. Same with Mega Zygarde. I just realized this is coming out at the same time as Chaos Rising. Mega Zygarde has been allocated in half of the distributors so far. This is an 8-pack big box. It looks like they're starting to get away from the 5x5s. Now, obviously, the Ascended Heroes poster collection is 10 packs. It looks like it is a similar configuration to the 10x10 EX boxes, but we haven't gotten any of those recently. So we'll see what happens there. And we have the Mega Lucario EX battle decks. I've ordered a ton of these. If you have distribution and you're trying to get ahead, battle decks are the cheapest and easiest way to get some spend in there. No, they don't move well. They just kind of sit. You just have to figure out a way to bundle them with something else to get them moved out the door. And if people don't want to buy the bundle, then they don't have to get the deal on the other product. It is a normal situation of take the good with the bad. So that's all I have for this week. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. We do have a bunch of Pokemon sales going on. It's just stacked up day after day. So it's crazy for a couple weeks, and then we get right into Strixhaven, and we have this Final Fantasy set coming out and a bunch of other things. We got the Riftbound set coming out here in April. Fun times. April? I think it's May, actually. So anyway, guys, have a good night, and we'll talk soon.